Hey everybody, this is our review of Baby Driver. It's beautiful. In unison, it's great.
Yeah, I planned that.
Baby Driver is a film by writer and director Edgar Wright, who is a filmmaker that I've been following for a long time.
Oh my goodness, I've been following him too, and I didn't even know what movies he did. I was like, hey, where do I know that name from?
Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
One of my favorites.
One of his faves. And one of my favorite movies, I remember first time I went to see it in the theaters, I didn't know what to expect, but I was blown away. Shaun of the Dead. One of my favorite films of all time. Also Hot Fuzz, just as good. And unfortunately, he had some sort of career hiccups recently, because his last project that he was on, that he wound up walking off of, was Ant-Man.
Wait, he walked off of that?
Him and Marvel were having creative differences. I don't know if we'll ever get the full details as to why, but I think it's partly because he's a very stylized director.
Yeah.
Marvel kind of needs people who fit into their mold. So I can kind of understand why they aren't seeing eye to eye. It's not too much of a surprise to me.
If anybody could pull off a comic book movie after seeing Scott Pilgrim, I didn't read the actual comics, but if anyone could pull off the whole comic book feel of a movie, it'd be him. And not Ang Lee.
No. Yeah, he definitely proved that with Scott Pilgrim, where it does feel like you're watching a comic book. But Baby Driver is not as heavily stylized as Scott Pilgrim, but it's pretty stylized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of the shots were just phenomenal.
Yeah, this is one where you got to give major props for technique. Like, it is a cool movie to watch.
It gives you the basic plot, right? Which is like, he's a wheelman working for some bad people. He owes money, he meets a girl, his life changes. And he wants more than just that. But man, when stuff starts to happen, stuff happens. It doesn't give you a chance to catch your breath, which I love. As I'm processing what just happened, boom, you get hit with something else that happens, and something else happens. Hang on a second, what were those two things before? And then boom, you get hit again. That's the best way I can use to describe it, because I'm not as articulate as my friend.
But you know what? I think we all understood.
First you were like, whoa. Then it was like, whoa. And then we were like, whoa.
Right off the bat, I really, really like the opening scene. It starts off basically with just a heist. In fact, it reminds me very much of... Did you ever see the movie Drive with Ryan Gosling?
Yes. I was actually just thinking that leaving the theater. I was like, this was a much less mature, but more stylized Drive.
It's like Drive drinking a bunch of Monster Energy drinks. It's like, let's go! It's sort of like formatted similarly, at least at the beginning, where it just shows him being a getaway driver on a very successful mission.
Yeah, him in his element where everything just sort of lines up perfectly.
And it's a great way to start off any movie, is to show the protagonist doing what they do.
They do best.
Yeah, doing what they do best.
Yeah.
The story of this film is pretty straightforward. There's not too many surprises.
No, I mean, you've got the President of the United States, who he owes money to, and he's all like, just one more job.
It's always going to be the last job, you know? Yeah.
The movie has a formula that I've seen before, but it's done in a way that I enjoyed more than any other time I've seen it. There's one shot in particular where it dawned on me. It's right at the very, very end when there's a car and it falls, right?
Right.
And then there's a shot that's obviously done on this long crane where you see it, the camera pans up and goes over the edge, and then you see the headlight. Just something like that. Something as simple as just a camera move that goes like this, and then boom, you go from like the bottom of the parkade to the top. And then you see that great shot, and then like punches in a little bit. Just, to me, it was magic. I was like, that was just fantastic. And then in that moment, I was like, I like this director's style, but not for lack of noticing it earlier. The movie's just hitting you with so much stuff, and there's just, it's so fast paced, and it doesn't give you a chance to really appreciate the artwork. And that's kind of the point. You walk out of the theater, you just go, I liked everything about that.
It's really refreshing, because I've found a lot in a lot of modern action movies is there's a lot of like really fast cuts here and there, action from every angle, and this happens in like the Taken movies and the Transformers movies, like stuff like that, where it's very overwhelming, but you also don't get a good sense of the action.
Yeah.
Where in this one, it does seem like a lot of the camera work, a lot of the blocking, it's all very deliberate. It all seems like it's very precisely calculated, and it's really nice to see that because it's not confusing. The action was very clear.
Yeah.
And that's an important thing in an action movie.
But there's a moment when he's talking to Debbie in the laundromat. And you know how like when people are flirting with each other, it's like a courtship dance? I thought immediately of like a waltz between the two of them, especially in the way it's shot, because she's sitting on the washing machine and he's talking to her and they're face to face, and there's this great over the shoulders and this great shot of the two of them together. To me, reminded me of a shot watching two people dancing around each other.
I remember the scene you're talking about. I remember exactly what they're doing, and I agree entirely.
I really, really, really appreciated just little things like that, because they could have easily done that scene with the two of them, you know, and over the shoulder, a couple of really nice tight shots of, you know, reactions.
Yeah,
and stuff, but
kind of by the book. Yeah.
Yeah, and they never stay in one place for too long, and it's nice. All the shots of him talking to his
foster
dad, who's deaf. All those shots are moving. He's constantly moving and dancing. It's like he's dancing to music all the time too, right? I almost don't want to watch the movie again because I don't want to find any flaws.
I mean, I think that this movie would probably live up to watching it again and live up to the scrutiny. There's some minor issues I have with the story and just like there's a sense I have of
okay.
At times it does seem a little bit predictable or a little bit minorly contrived. But like at the same time, I feel like I can kind of forgive it. It's because that it's so stylized and so well polished. The story problems are kind of forgivable because they're not even like huge problems. They're just like, I don't know. But yeah, you were saying about music. I feel like music is like almost a character in and of itself in this movie. Like it's
hardcore.
I've never seen a movie staged quite like this where the action fits with the music so well, like down to like gunshots going with the drum beat, like stuff like that. It makes it a really fun, engaging experience because music and film they work together so well. But in this case, like
they complement each other.
He just kind of merges the two even more so.
The entire time I found myself dancing to the action. A lot of the times if I'm watching a movie and I'm glued to it and I'm trying to get a grasp of just, you know, all the stuff that's going on, I'm glued to the screen. But this entire time I was like, yeah, this is awesome. Well, that's awesome too. I was moved by it, literally. I was dancing with it. So I was not only engaged mentally, I was also engaged physically with the movie. It was really cool. It was a huge in like movie trailers. Like if you look at the Suicide Squad trailer, they've got Bohemian Rhapsody.
That's right, yeah.
Every gunshot was to the music.
Built like a movie trailer, but to service an actual story.
Yeah, they built a world that's like to a degree almost unbelievable. It's kind of like John Wick, where you've got all these like really like over-the-top characters in a real world with real stakes, but it exists in a world within the world. You've got the criminal underworld in John Wick. Well, we've got the same thing here, but everyone's like sort of like an extra heightened version of crazy.
Character that took me by surprise, who I wasn't expecting to take me by surprise, was Kevin Spacey's character. I mean, I don't want to get into spoilers, but it's nice every now and then when a character's story defies your expectations, but doesn't like feel
like it was forced.
Exactly.
Or contrived.
Yeah.
I was thinking that exact same thing.
What's really refreshing as well is that it's an original screenplay. It's not part of a franchise. It's really great that Edgar Wright he's still producing original material. He's an auteur who has kind of done things his own way and is now starting to reap the benefits of it because Baby Driver is a hit at this point. That's great to hear because it means that people are still hungry for something that's not just the next superhero movie. No disrespect to superhero movies because I love them, but it's nice for some variety.
I don't know, just go watch the movie.
Yeah, Baby Driver is great. So let us know in the comment section what you thought of Baby Driver. We'd love to know.
What's your favorite movie, like, with cars and stuff?
Yeah, do you have another Cars and Stuff movie that you really like? If you like the review, share with your friends. And always, as always, share with your mom.
Like, subscribe.
Good luck, good night, farewell, and enjoy your next trip to the cinema.
And for God's sake, don't try any of the stunts you're about to see in the movie at home.
No, not a good idea.